know, there really are a lot of people in this part of the country, but I think there's a good reason why. I guess there are a few reasons why there's so many people in this part of the country, but I've grown to kind of appreciate it. Despite the massive amount of people, there's still like a lot of things that are really, really nice. And I don't know, the weather is perfect. I mean, at nighttime, for example, it's so easy to sleep in the van. If you're in an RV or a van in this part of the country, I mean, it's pretty much perfect. Like, there's really nothing better than it. Even in the middle of the summer, I feel like by the coast, it's going to be pretty comfortable at night. And then in the winter as well, it's relatively mild. It's really just perfect year-round temperatures every single day. It is a little bit rainy in the winter. It was really rainy, I think, especially this year, and it rained the past 2 days, which was not really a lot of fun. But aside from that, I think, you know, eventually summertime is supposed to be very sunny for the most part. I don't think that it really rains at all during the summertime in this part of the country. So it should be pretty interesting to see how it all changes while I'm here. And you got access to the ocean. I surfed for 2 hours this morning, and this afternoon I think I'm going to go on a little bit of a hike in the Santa Cruz Mountains and then kind of make my way back towards San Jose to get some chores and stuff done this evening. And it's just like, there's not too many places in the country that you can do all of those things in one day. Surf and hike. You can even go skiing if you wanted to drive an extra hour or so. Like, there's still a bunch of snow on the ground. It's pretty crazy. For lunch today, I decided to get kind of creative. I was in Trader Joe's and I saw these chicken dumplings here. They're like frozen chicken dumplings and they look really good. I don't really know how they're gonna turn out. I've never made anything like this. I don't even know if I've ever eaten anything like this before, but I don't know. Gonna give them a try here in the Instant Pot. They were like $3, so can't really go wrong with a $3 lunch. And I'm gonna cook them up in here, try to steam them, I guess. The idea is like add a little bit of water and let them steam up. There's not really Instant Pot instructions on that box, obviously, so I don't know. We'll see what happens here. Tell you one thing, it's pretty hard to beat that front yard parked right here by the coast. Yeah, those are amazing. That was one of those things that you're eating and you just keep eating and then you go to eat more and it's just suddenly gone and you're like, where'd it go? It was that good. I guess I just kind of need to focus on the positive side of things more than anything. I know I've talked about this in previous videos, but when I'm in one area for a while, I tend to get a little bit antsy, I guess. I kind of want to get back on the road. I don't know if I'm like nomadic in nature or whatever it may be, but I've been in the Bay Area now for 2 months and I've definitely felt that way. Like, I've kind of felt like I want to, you know, hit the road and continue to travel and move around a little bit, but at the same time, I'm kind of stuck here, I guess. Been kind of collaborating with this startup here in San Francisco for the past couple of months, and that's what's keeping me here for the most part. But with any startup, it's kind of hard to predict the future. You know, that's just kind of the nature of a startup, right? Like, you don't know what's going to happen. Things could go bad in a month, they could go bad in a year, they could go bad in 10 years. It's impossible to say what's going to happen exactly. Hopefully it's the latter option and things go and things work out and I can continue to work with them, and long term, you know, we have some success and everything like that. That would be really cool. But you know, it's hard to say, but if that is the case, then I'm going to be in the Bay Area, or at least based out of the Bay Area, for the foreseeable future, and I kind of just need to focus on the positive stuff, like I said. So the traffic, it kind of stinks, you know, it's not really that fun. There's people everywhere, but at the same time, you have these amazing places to explore. I mean, this area, this hike right here, there's no one out here right now. I'm just walking around, I'm surrounded by redwood trees. I mean, they're like mini redwood trees, but they're still pretty amazing, and it's just a beautiful place to be. Speaking of trees, like, what is this thing? It's gotta be like the weirdest looking tree I've ever seen in my life. It has like branches sticking out in every direction. It's kind of creepy. That hike ended up being pretty fun. It wasn't really much of a hike. I was only up there for a little while, but I was just driving along Route 9 there, and I noticed a bunch of cars parked on the side of the road, so I figured that there was something going on, and I actually don't even think that that was the trailhead that they were hiking at, but I just started walking up this like random path looking type thing. I think it was actually a creek, and then it turned into a trail, and I just kind of got lost in the woods for 20 or 30 minutes. It was kind of nice, pretty refreshing just to smell the trees and to be surrounded by trees and to not have any people around for a little bit. It was kind of cool. So for the rest of this video, I want to talk a little bit about how I make money on the road and how I guess that's kind of changed a little bit since I first started doing this a few years ago. I remember I made a video about this. It was one of the first videos that I made back in 2016. I was at the sugar beet harvest and I talked about van life and making money on the road and what I was doing. And back then I was mostly working like seasonal jobs. I was picking up a seasonal job here, a seasonal job there. I taught surf lessons in San Diego for a couple of different summers. I also did the sugar beet harvest once and a couple other things like that where I was just making a lot of money in a short period of time and then using that money to kind of travel and to move around a little bit. I was also teaching myself to code when I first hit the road. That was kind of what I always thought would be how I would make money while I was traveling. I knew that I could work remotely as a developer from anywhere, so I kind of wanted to like teach myself how to do that. And there's a lot of great resources online that help me learn HTML and CSS and some JavaScript as well, jQuery, a bunch of different little coding languages and stuff that I was able to kind of pick up some work with over time. And I use sites like Upwork and freelance websites like that, and those are really competitive. It's really difficult to get jobs doing those, but at the same time I was able to get a couple over the time that I was doing this, and that was kind of a way that helped keep me on the road. That combined with the little bit that I was getting from the YouTube channel, and then obviously the seasonal work was what kept me going. And that's kind of changed a little bit since then. Obviously the YouTube channel has grown over the past couple of years, and that's allowed me to make a little bit more money from there, not just from AdSense revenue, but also from, you know, affiliate marketing with Amazon and with Energy. I work with Energy, the Kodiak company as well, and a couple other companies like that, and that all kind of adds all together, and it kind of produces income from Element Van Life, and that's been a much larger portion over at least the last few months here of my income, and it's been kind of nice to have. It's been something that I'm very, very grateful for. And you know, it's a lot of work putting together YouTube videos. I've made probably over 250 videos, and during that time I've obviously learned a lot about video production and learned about cinematography and how to edit and color correct and grade and do all these different things that I never would have otherwise known. When I was a kid, I was always interested in like making movies and stuff. I always did that. I had like a little cheap Hi8 camcorder that I used, and I would make little movies and stuff, and that was fun. I always had an interest and a passion for cinematography, but I didn't really develop that passion until I started the YouTube channel. In my first videos, I had no idea what I was doing. I was just using a smartphone and editing with Windows Movie Maker, and that was how I made the majority of my early videos. And the quality is a little bit different from those videos as they, compare to the videos that I do now. And I've gotten to the point where I'm working as a videographer, as a cinematographer professionally. I got my Part 107 drone license, and I've been able to pick up a couple of jobs doing aerial cinematography work. I did that last year in the Midwest a couple of different times with that documentary series that I was working with. And I've also picked up a lot of weddings. I started shooting weddings last year. I've done quite a few of those, and that's something that I really enjoy doing pretty much more than anything else. It is just a lot of fun to put together a wedding film that highlights the beautiful moments of the day and the love that the couple have for each other, and just trying to tell their story in a unique way. I mean, that's something that I really enjoy doing, and something that I want to keep doing for a long time, maybe for the rest of my life. Even if it's just a few weddings here and there, I want to be able to keep doing that because I really do enjoy it. And if you are getting married, by the way, at some point this year or into next year even, I'm going to be booking weddings for next summer as well. Reach out to me, send me an email, nate@elementvanlife.com. If you know somebody maybe that's getting married, a friend or a family member, feel free to bring it up to them as well. I'd love to talk with as many people as I can and see if I can kind of coordinate it with my schedule. I'm going to be in the Bay Area, it seems like, for a while, but the Bay Area is a big area, and I'm willing to travel quite a bit if I can, to make something work. But that's something that, like I said a couple of times here, that I really enjoy doing. I also have a link in the description to my website, to my portfolio website, natehenrymedia.com, and there's a couple of different films that I've done on there, along with a reel highlighting some of my favorite shots from the past year while I was doing this. But definitely something that I want to keep doing, like I said, and that's kind of what this has become. It's become this culmination of like all these different income streams, and I guess that's just kind of part of being self-employed. There's a lot of ups and downs. It's a little bit of a roller coaster ride. You don't always know where money's coming from each month, and it can be pretty stressful. It's taken a lot of time to get to this point. It's been, you know, it's been pretty difficult. A lot of hours, a lot of time has got into where I am right now, and it's still not quite where I want to be. I want to continue to grow my business and continue to be able to save for my future. I know that I've talked about this in the past, maybe buying a piece of land somewhere, building a tiny house, being able to kind of have a home base and that sort of thing. And that's something that I want to do at some point down the road, and I obviously need to be able to make some money to be able to save for that. I'm saving for retirement as well. I know that's something that a lot of people are always very concerned about, and it's a valid thing. It's something that I need to be thinking about. I'm getting kind of old. I'm going to be 30 pretty soon, so I'm definitely getting up there in age, and that's just kind of how it is. But I got to think about my future and everything as well. So I got to continue to grow, and I can't thank you guys enough for your support of this channel and this part of how I make money, which is the YouTube channel. I mean, I wouldn't be here if you guys didn't watch my videos and follow along on the journey. So I can't thank you guys enough. I'm so grateful for your support, especially my patrons as well, who literally contribute a little bit each month to be able to keep this journey alive and to keep the channel alive, for me to, I guess, justify the insane amount of time that I spend putting these videos together. I do put a lot of time into it. I'm very dedicated to it, and it's a time-consuming process, and YouTube in general is not really the best paying job. I know that I've talked about that in the past. I think that that's pretty well known, but it's something that I really enjoy doing and something that I want to keep doing. So I guess that kind of sums it up. That's all the different ways that I make money on the road, and like I said, it's just become this like crazy, you know, mixture of all these different things, and it's pretty likely that this changes over time. I feel like I could probably make a video about how I make money every year, once a year, and it would always be at least a little bit different, because I think that's a big part of this lifestyle. I think it's adapting and being able to adapt to the changes and the changing environment, and just kind of go with the flow a little bit to be able to make ends meet, and hopefully also be able to earn a little bit in excess so that you can save for the future. Hope this video was helpful for those of you maybe out there considering van life and that whole thing. I think the bottom line is just finding something, coming up with a plan, and then sticking to it, and you can make it work. There's a lot of ways to make money out there, especially today. Even when I started, like things like Uber and Uber Eats and all that didn't even really exist back in 2016, and now that's like a really popular thing and something that you could probably do to help supplement income while you're traveling and moving around the country and doing the van life like this. But there's definitely a lot of things to consider, and yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you all in the next one.